Today I want to talk about the survival, crafting, alien hunting, tech tree climbing, electronics engineering-ing, addiction-enabling time sink that is Factorio. Factorio gives me feels, y'all. At first, that feeling was fascination. There's so much to do, so many things to make. It was like logging into a modded Minecraft server for the first time and discovering how many new types of wire you could run instead of just regular old redstone. The world here seems endless. It is. And the goal unachievable. It isn't. And oh my god, there are gross bug things! There are also trains and grenades and other players if you're playing online, so there are ample ways to die. So it seems to check all the boxes for a good game. Is it, though? After some time, it started getting frustrating. Everything is numbers and recipes and automation. It wasn't long before I had a base that looked like a plate of my great-aunt's spaghetti, just way, way less appetizing. It starts to feel like a Herculean task to get the oil from one side of your base turned into lubricant and then piped over to the electric engine assemblers on the other side of your mammoth mechanical monstrosity. I realize we live in the internet age, but I feel like a game that has external wikis devoted to how many assembly plants you need to saturate the next level of assembly plants you need to build the random widget that goes into this specific color of science goo just isn't getting to that fun threshold. Yeah, but Amber, you've played Minecraft, and that game doesn't teach you anything either. Yeah, I know, and the crafting system in Minecraft is beyond obtuse, unless you look up recipes online. Side note, they've made it a little better with the recipe book, but old school Minecraft, totally obtuse. The thing is, you can build really elaborate, albeit functionally simple, factories in Minecraft, but you don't need to in order to play the whole game. You can beat Minecraft without building a single automated farm or skeleton grinder. If you do, well, bonus to you, but they're not necessary to progress the game forward. In Factorio, if you don't mind the minutiae of factory building, you'll quickly become overrun by your base's complexity. And you won't have even finished climbing the tech tree, to say nothing of building and assembling the rocket needed to finish the campaign mode. Yeah, but Amber, building a factory is the whole point of Factorio. Yes, however, good luck building it in a way that you want to. There are no options in Factorio that aren't geared toward one particular vision of factory efficiency. There are no assembly machines that can build two different single-resource items and then output them on either side of the assembler. Imagine feeding one belt of mixed copper and iron plates into an assembler and getting either copper coils or iron gear wheels out of it, depending on which side you pulled from. Efficient? No. Flexible? Absolutely. There are no, say, super slow belts that allow you to ferry items 3 or 4 wide along their lengths. Would it be more efficient? No. More flexible? Indispensably. Can you imagine being able to roll up 6 materials to one assembler with 2 belts? It'd be great. There are 6 kinds of short inserters in the game. And there is one long-handed inserter. I'm here for the long-handed inserters. Where are the filter long-handed inserters, or the long-handed stack inserters, or the fast long-handed inserters? Long-handed inserters definitely get the short shrift in this game. Wah wah. Would you prefer to be able to cache some logistics robots at a particular location so you can ferry a raw material from that location to another? Well, you can't do that. They're going to arrive from all over your factory to grab that item, and they're only going to start their journeys right at the moment it's needed, no sooner. So in this sense, the limitations inherent in this system that masquerades as limitless, wind up nudging you towards a certain design aesthetic, which is microprocessor design. If you start aggressively growing your base, you'll start to notice some similarities between your base and CPU dies pretty quickly. Banks of L2 cache, main buses, ring buses, interconnects, etc. I could probably go into a lot more detail on how Factorio's little belts and inserters wind up making bases look a lot like primitive CPU designs, but I don't want to derail this video completely. This video is about this game and its gameplay. So I have now poured over 200 hours of my life into this game, and I feel a little underwhelmed. It's not that there isn't a lot of content. The game is stock full of sprites and mechanics and automated build systems and tiny intricate animations, and it's really only missing one thing. Fun. 200 hours, and the game told me no story whatsoever. Our protagonist is utterly silent. The bug-like biters inhabiting the planet have only the most rudimentary AI, and seem to perform only the most basic of actions, most of which are attack the player on sight. They don't communicate with one another, they don't show any kind of intelligence or communicative interactions with each other, and are essentially only there to slow you down by attacking your base and generally being a nuisance. Alright, so that's a lot of bad. So what's good about this game? Well, if you read a few forum posts and duplicate a few blueprints in-game, check a few wikis, you'll start to get into the mid-game with some kind of a sustainable base blueprint. Once you get to the mid-game, you will construct your first flying robots. Now, these robots are even more stupid than the biters, but they make the most adorable noises when they're flying around being idiotic, so that makes them the closest things to characters that the game has. Hashtag underhanded compliments. Anyway, more about those bots themselves in a minute. The game changes pace completely once you have a swarm of construction and logistics robots. You can map out blueprints via the world map, and assuming you've placed all of the needed components in logistics-attached storage chests, your little bots will fly off and construct your base in a completely automated fashion, even down to plugging in speed or productivity modules or whatever you call for in your factory buildings. It means that you can be in several places at once. You can experiment with fine-tuning your oil production and refining while your robots expand your solar power grid. You can lay track out to an outpost while your base and its bots automatically repair damage from biter attacks. The pace of the game accelerates immensely once you unlock the research for flying robots in your tech tree, and you construct your first 100 or so flying robotic minions. Like I said, their AI leaves some things to be desired, and requesting something from your logistics network can sometimes be slower than actually fetching the item yourself. But as brain-dead as the little bots are, they are absolutely adorable and make the cutest noises as they fly around fixing things and bringing you materials. However, as soon as my brain assigned personality to my bots, I immediately thought of this.
Are you guys robots?
Well, the word robot actually comes from an old Czech word, robotnik, meaning slave.
The amount of menial garbage work you will end up having your bots do basically never let me forget that. Let me tell you, I experienced a lot of white guilt playing this game. It's a problem that I have with every game that features automation as a core mechanic. It's not just this game, there are several that do this. Games like this paint an apologistic picture of automation and, by extension, slavery, despite millions of people across the world experiencing firsthand the destabilizing effects of automation on their livelihoods, to say absolutely nothing about the lasting detrimental effect that slave ownership has had on modern Western civilization. I could say a lot more about this, but I'm going to save that for an upcoming series where I look at video game tropes and mechanics that subtly reinforce white supremacy and toxic masculinity, among other things, in the games we play, and thus help reinforce unconscious bias in the minds of those of us who play video games. Now, to wind this up, to the developer's credit, robots are not necessary to beat Factorio. The flying robot tech is not required to build the endgame rocket and satellite, and while there are components that you must build inside automated assemblers, no components require you to construct them via the robotics network. There's even an achievement for those of you who beat the game without ever using the logistics network. Kudos to the developers there. So, Factorio. At its core, it really feels like it wants to be a 2D version of modded Minecraft. In execution, it seems to get closer to a macro-scale abstract of electronics engineering than anything else. I know I skipped a lot of content that exists for this game in the forms of mods and custom maps and scenarios, but I feel like a game shouldn't have to stand on its mods. Mods should enhance an already enjoyable game. The entire reason that I've put 400 hours into Skyrim and loved every one of them is that I enjoy its core gameplay mechanics of discovery and questing, and the mods I have simply enhance that enjoyment. To be fair, Factorio is still very much in beta, and at this rate, who knows when it will be finalized. Maybe the devs have lore for the game and a story to tell, and they're waiting for the final release to show it to us. If that happens, I will most likely revisit Factorio, but for the time being, I'm going to delete it from my Steam library because, in the end, it's just not that much fun. Thank you for watching, and if you're interested in other videos and my hot takes on other video games, please subscribe to the channel and go ahead and check out some of my other content around your screen. Have a great day and stay awesome!